In this video, we're going to focus on how we can filter our dates. So you can see here, for example, here we have all these dates from 1 April all the way to 28 April and May, and then eventually I'm jumping here directly to December. So you can see here, this difference here is what we call an equidistant or equal distant, is identical in range, although the date range is massive. It's almost like here we have 7 months difference. And next is what we want to do is, for example, I want to get only the Mondays out of this entire item. So we need to filter our data here. And you can see this is Monday, Monday, Mondays. And then here we have another Monday on December 5. And same we could do here for the Sundays or any other day, so we can do a comparison. So let's start to look how to do this. So let's look how to filter the data and show only the specific day in a line chart in Chart.js. So what we're going to do here, first of all, is we need to get the default code. So make sure you go to chartjs3.com, getting started, or this specific link here. And this link you can find as well in the description box. Once you're on the site, scroll down here a bit, and then just copy this chunk of code. So let's copy this. And if you want to understand what this code does, make sure you watch this video here. So then I'm going to put that in there, and then here, I'll cut out the title, put it there. Save this, refresh. Alright, so now we have this here, and what I want to do now is convert this into a line chart. So I'm going to scroll down here, we say line chart here, and then I'll make here the tension to give the line an elastic design, 0.4. Save, refresh. Beautiful, that's number one, that's done. The next thing what I want to do is I want to put in here the date FNS because, or a date adapter. And in this case, I'm going to use date FNS because we have to convert this into a date. So what we're going to do is go to chartjs.org. Once you're on this site, click here on ecosystem. And once you're on here, scroll down and then just click here on adapters. Then click here on date FNS, or you can use another one. I'm going to use this one because this only has one JavaScript file and this is the easiest one to use, or at least just only we add the file and that's it. This one is easier to use if you need their specific commands. However, we don't need that, and this requires 2 JavaScript files, so it's double loading, so not necessary. This one has been deprecated. Don't use this anymore. Just skip it. So click on this one, date FNS, sorry. Once you're on here, this link here is very important. You can see here the name chartjs adapter date FNS bundle.min or minimize file. So once we're on here, we go back here. I'm going to paste that in there, and there you are. You can see here, this one must be loaded after the Chart.js library because the Chart.js library has certain variables, and this is dependent on that library. If I save this, refresh, nothing happens because we didn't activate yet the date scale. So we're going to go here on the X scale. I'm going to say here type. I'm going to show here first time, comma. Then I'm going to say here time. This is the time object we're going to use. And we're going to say here, let's see, what is the term here? Let's say here day, or the unit will be equal to day. Save that, then refresh, and now of course nothing happens because we don't have a proper structure of our days. So let's comment this out and go to work on our proper structure. So I'm going to say constant, and we can say here, well, this could be data points. And these data points here is a bracket or an array. Then within the array, we have here curly braces, and then we're going to say here x, and I'm going to put in here a date. So what I'm going to do here, just very simple, I'm going to say here new date. We are going to create a date object. And we're going to say here, let's say here 2022, and then we start in April 1. And then what I want to do here is also get the time zone. I'm going to say 00 for the hours, 0 hours, so midnight, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. And then we say a GMT, or the Greenwich Mean Time, and then 0800, or any GMT or time zone value for your case. My case, I need GMT 08. So what I'm going to do here next is then I have to specify the X value, and now I must specify the Y value, and I'm going to just put in here number 3. Put a comma here, and I'm going to duplicate this multiple times, and later on, so we can select the specific days and we can compare them nicely. So I'm going to copy all of this. Alright, so I probably have here like 10 or something like that. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this, let's say number 10, and copy this. And the reason I'm doing that is later on I can just copy paste the numbers. Alright, and then here will be number 20, and maybe this should be number 9. So we have some different variables. That's important. Alright, so now we have this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just convert this quickly into an incremental number, so we have a full month. And that is 9, 10, this should be 10, alright, 11, oh, sorry, not 11 here, but this should be incremental 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh, 16, 17, 18, 19, and here will be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, etc., etc. And 9, and finally 30, and I guess this one here is May 1. Alright, so we have this here, and what I'm going to do is I just put in here some different numbers, although I don't know what are the dates, so we can see here later on. I just put in some different ones. Save, refresh. Alright, nothing happens yet, and the reason why nothing happens is simply because we need to copy this data points and insert it here. So the reason why I do X and Y is that this was supposed to be the X value, but now I say we're going to skip these labels, and this is now the X value. And we're going to use here a date object, so if I save this, refresh, it should see, but I get an error or something doesn't work. Syntax token on 93. Alright, 93. There we are, of course. Remove the bracket here, because it's already an array. Save, refresh. And number 128, the Y. Fair enough. I may make another mistake here. Make sure you have a comma here. Save, refresh. There we are. So we have these numbers here and everything shows very nicely. However, you can imagine maybe you want to compare on weekday basis. Specifically, for example, Monday. Did you make more money on this Monday compared to the Monday whatever would be? I don't know if this is even Monday, by the way. I have no idea, but April 1. But we can check this. We're going to filter out the data, and then we can start to see if something would be a Monday, Tuesday, etc., etc. So let's start to look at that. Well, what I do know is that 1 May is a Sunday. So that's the most important one. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to create a function. I guess we can do a function, but before we do the function, we must have a drop-down functionality. So I'm going to create a quick drop-down here. This is a select. And then we say here on, not on click, but on change. So the moment we change something, we want to do here something. We want to trigger a specific function, and this function could be filter the date here, and the value would be this, whatever we selected. So that's the most important one. And then we're going to say option, and the option here value would be, let's say here, this is very important in JavaScript. If you have the values with the weekdays, we can do it in from 1 to 7 or from 0 to 6. By default, it is from 0 to 6, and 0 stands for Sunday, and 6 stands for Saturday. So if I want to start here with the Monday as the weekday, then we could say here Monday, and then this should be number 1. And then we can just continue on, and here this should be 7 items. Alright, so this should be 0 because this is Sunday. And here is Saturday. And here Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. And here 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so we have this. So the moment we select something, we want to get the specific date. So I'm going to create here now functionality. We say here function filter date here, and I will say here the day. So this is the day that we select that we want to filter on. So this day here value is of course the value what we select with the this. So once we select here the this, that one will show. So we can test this just to make sure. Console log. Then I want to say here the day, but I want specifically because this here refers to the full element. So I'm going to say here this dot value to grab only the value of the selection. So open up developer tab. Let's refresh it one more time. Select something. Number 2, number 1. There we are. Alright, so what I want to do here before I even continue on, we should have just one more. We should show here select all or show all, something like that. Show all, and this show all I will put it on a -1. Why -1? Because a -1 doesn't exist in the weekdays. So if it's a -1, we can filter that out with a certain if statement. So now we have that. And what I want to do now is the following. I'm going to say here, we have this constant. I'm going to say a constant, and I guess we can put it here, constant days, which will be eventually a new array, and this array will do something very simple. It will put in whatever we select. So if we select Monday, I want to get only the Mondays within this range selection. So what I'm going to do here, we'll say here the days is Monday, or at least the days, whatever we select, and then we're going to say here if, then we're going to say a day dot value, which is whatever the day number is. Remember this. In that case here, and then we have the if statement will be if it is bigger or equal to 0. Remember, we have a -1 for all the days. So if it's bigger or equal to 0, bigger or equal to 0, and it should never be higher than 7 or 6 in this case, then what I want to do here is create a data points.map, which is the map functionality, and then grabbing here this data points. So within here, I'm going to say here we have this, we say here the data point. So every data point, we say your comma index, but I think we don't need the index, but just in case. So for every data point, what I want to do here is the following. Say if, and I'm going to say here data point, or maybe what I want to do here is maybe a console log first. And the reason why is I want to show you what is in here. So copy this, put it in there, save. And this is only if it is beyond or 0 or beyond. So refresh. Oh, let's put that back. Alright, so now if I do show all, doesn't work. Or here if I do this, you can see here everything, but if I go back to 0, it says only -1, which is correct because we have a console log just for the -1, but it doesn't trigger this. And what I need here, you can see here every time the days. You can see here all these days here, and that's beautiful. So we can find here all the information. So what I want to do now then here is on this data point, what I need is, because look what we get. We get not only the x value, we get x and y. So I need to get only the x value. I need to specify this x value and then specifically specify the Monday, this value here. So what I'm going to do here, say .x. If I save this, you will see now, refresh. That there we are. We get now only the x values, not the x and y. Or in the beginning we get these. Now we only get the specified value, which is this. Alright. So then here, what I want to do here is, then I'm going to say here a object command, or basically a date object command is get the day. And what I want here is the day will be equal, and remember here, don't use equal strict. The reason why is it is not equal strict because we have a whole date object here. Equal strict would expect a equal value of a number or something, just exactly the same. But this here, so it should be not that strict or loosely strict or something like that. Just a basic comparison. So then we're going to say day.value. Very important here. So once we do this, if that is the case, then what I want to do here is, I have this console log here. I don't want to use this console log for now. Just only this here, and this should be an if statement. We make this if statement here. So if this, put in here, parentheses, alright. Then right now I just do a console log first. And just get, what we could do here is get the data point with the date. And we should get now only a specific item if I select. So let's say it's Monday. Alright, we get now only 4 times, which could be correct because we have here 1 month value only, which is about 30 days. So we could have 4 times. If we Tuesday, let's see what happened. Alright, 4 times as well, number 2. So maybe Sunday would be multiple. We have 5 times, which is correct. This is definitely a Sunday. I don't know if this is it, but we have here some information. Alright, so now what I want to do, of course, I want to just, not this, but I want to push whatever we have here, push it in here. So I'm going to grab this days, dot push, put that in there, there we are. So now I have this, and we can save that. If I refresh, nothing happens here, but let's update this. So what I want to do here now is, we have this here, and this is an if statement, and I guess what we could do here is, let's see, let's make this proper. I'm going to put a semicolon here, because this is together with that. And then we have here, so the if statement, because here we have another if statement, it's an else. The reason why we have an else is, if it is not 0 or above, in that case, it would be the default value. So in that case, what I'm going to say here, else, I'm going to say here, my chart will be dot the data. What I'm really doing is just going to reassign the data back to its original state. So we have here the data here. Then I'm going to get this one, the data points. That's this data points I want to reassign. So what I'm going to say here, data dot data sets. This will be index 0 because how do I get here? From data, I jump directly to, or from my chart to data, I jump directly to data sets, and I'm going to see a data. Dot data, and I will say equal, and equal to what exactly? Well, our equal will be to the data points here, to this one here. And this is a very important part of this map array. The map array, we're basically creating a new array, or while we're already doing it, I realize here. Maybe we could even fine-tune that. That could be as well. It doesn't matter now. But we're going to use this. We create a new array, and this new array here is independent from the data points. That's the days here. So we have this. That is for the else. But then what I want to do here is if this is it. So here, this if statement should push in here. And what we can do here, let me just show you. Console log so you can see I have a visual. If I save this, refresh. So if I do now Monday, you get here all the values and look at it. You can see here all of these items here. All right. Of course, that is just the days here. I don't want the days. I want event, or this is the days here. Let's see, what are we pushing? We're pushing the days here. I guess we don't have to push this item here, but what we're going to push is the full X and Y. Save. Try again. Let's see. There we are. We get this, the full X and Y here, only Mondays, every single day. Alright, so we have this. So we push this here in there, and we have that. And then what I want to do here is an if statement. This if statement should be after this here, I realize. So I need to cut out this, put it away, after, because this is like a loop. So I want to make sure we avoid the loop. If I do this here now we should have the proper item. Refresh, select, let's say choose Monday. There we are. We only get it one time. If we do Tuesday or Wednesday, we get it here. There we are. So this is very nice because it refreshes it again. Because we set this here in the if, basically in this function, we always reset this back to 0. And we could even force this by saying length 0 if ever it would not work. But in this case, it works very nice. I'm going to copy this, put it in here. And then what I will say, your data will be days. Save, refresh. All right. So now, Monday, Tuesday. All right, so of course, sorry, my bad. I am just doing the wrong thing here. I get the days, the data points. Hold on, am I missing something? So we have this here, my chart days. Let me double check, refresh. Hold on, let me double check this. So I immediately notice it, and of course this is my bad. So what is the reason why it doesn't change? Because I was expecting it to change because I forgot to put in here what we call the update. So I need to say here, after this if statement, we have that one here, and then here we say my chart.update. There we are. Save that. Refresh. There we are. So now we have that. That looks absolutely phenomenal. And you can see here, it shows this. However, this is maybe undesirable because now we have this here. Let's convert this into what we call equidistant. So how do we do this? All we have to do here is go to time. We're going to say, time series. Save that. Refresh. Now you can see here we have this. All right. Then we click on Monday. And, all right. Did it save correctly? Let me double check. All right. So I thought there was a mistake, but it's not. So let me explain what is going to happen here. Because when we work with time series, we're going to have an equidistant. And of course, right now we have an interval of 7 days every time, because we have here Monday and then we have these 7 days. That's why this looks like this. So you don't see the real difference because we have an equidistant, and the equidistant right now is identical with the weeks because it's just a sequence. So what I'm going to do is let's add one date that is beyond the standard date. So I'm going to do that one here. And this is a Sunday here, or well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to put in here a few more. But this, we're going to make sure there should be 7 items here. This one, I'm going to put on December. So that will be a better way to check. And you will see afterwards immediately the difference of it, and this should be 7 items, and I think we have here 1 line too much, if too many. There we are. Alright, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this, I'll just make this, well, we can do here 90. So we can see the difference. Save that. Refresh. Alright, so we have this one here. You can see here already the time series works immediately because we have here an equidistant, and the distance here between May 1 and December 1 is identical to a normal distance here, although the range of time span here is massive. So this is very important to understand. So now let's play around here and just say now Monday. So we should see here now a same equidistant. Absolutely phenomenal. There you can see here this works now. So we have this equidistant here, and this massive amount here of days, that range, will still be considered as one single tick, basically. So if you enjoyed this, and maybe you want to fine-tune this, because you might say, well, this is a whole mess here. I do agree that needs to be fine-tuned. What we can do here is, of course, I have another video for that. I'm going to recommend you here on how to use day ticks, hour ticks, and how to modify the ticks in a different way. So this can be very useful because what we had here might not be the most readable version. So that is one of the other things I'm going to recommend you as well.